Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the stream today. Welcome to the stream tonight as we are here to watch the veto episode of Big Brother 27. Madame, thank you for the 62nd month in a row. I'm live on Twitch and YouTube. There I am. And we will be watching the 90-minute episode of Big Brother 27. We will see the veto competition, including one Casey Clark coming to join us. And then after the episode, recap over on RHAP with one Chelsea from last season. So we got a packed night tonight. And I'm very tired. I don't know why. I've been very tired all day. I struggled to take a nap. I feel like I got fine sleep. My eyes are just heavy today. Nosferatu, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Robot Army. I don't do caffeine. I mean, I just feel like caffeine would make it worse, you know? Like if I'm tired all day and I have caffeine for some of the day, it'll just make the part of the day that doesn't have caffeine feel worse, unless I'm taking caffeine all day. But that's just like running on empty. And then it's going to mess with my sleep tonight. You know what I mean? Dr. Christie, thank you for the 200 bits. We are, of course, here to watch the episode. Should be starting pretty soon, so let me get a prediction running. Commercial by 5:15. There it is. I will be eating on stream today. Mostly because it's going to be a long one. 90-minute episode plus podcast. What was my first job out of college? I worked for a startup making videos. Job market is stupid now compared to what it was, I imagine. All right, we're live. We're live. Episode's on. Let me see if I can pull this up. That's where we are. And I'll let you hear it as well for a second.
Jimmy won HOH, not best case scenario.
There you go. 50-50 on the prediction. The Dungeon Master. They're doing 90 minutes on Wednesday. I assume it's because it just fits in their programming the best. I don't think they gave him 90 minutes because they were like, wow, we really need more Big Brother. They were more probably just like, we gotta fill this hole. Hold on. Did you guys just see that skip? Was that me, or did she just say save your ally twice? You had it too? Let me tell you, an editor is gonna get reamed out for that one. If it wasn't on everyone's broadcast, it must have not been the editor's fault. All-star cameos. Whoa. We have not seen this before, right? Ah, it's freaking me out. This music. It's like almost there. I feel like it was almost there, but it was not quite where it needed to be. But I like the attempt. I liked the end, the like who will win 750K. Thought that was fun. Oh, what is this game? Where did I get this shirt? I think it's a Mac Weldon. I like it because it kind of looks fancier than it is. Am I still climbing? That is a great question. It's one that I wish I had a better answer to, which is that I have not climbed in the since Big Brother started. But I really want to. Do I do any cardio? Not really specific cardio. I'd walk on the treadmill, go for walks, and climb. When I lift, there's a small element of cardio there. Oh, here's the Adrian talking to the camera scene. I feel like that segment could have been better, if I'm being honest. There was better content from Adrian that they cut. He's a weenie. All right, I gotta see if I can get my soundbite clipping working. Because he's a weenie would have been a good one. Okay, I'm glad we're finally getting at least one of these conversations. It's one of many, many, many of these conversations. What a meeting of minds. Sorry, what? What did Will just say? I'm gonna make it look like I'm rummaging through this if somebody comes in here. He spends about 3 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen from Vince. His goal is to be good with everyone. He is close to that. And that's commercial. Yes, commercial by 5:15. Next, prediction. The Rachel Keanu fight was post-veto, right? So yeah, it could be veto draw. Not that they'd have to air it in order, but do we get the veto draw in the next segment? By the way, if you are watching right now and you missed my stream from yesterday talking about the new Friday episode, number one, there's a new Friday episode. It's called Big Brother Unlocked, hosted by Taylor and Derek. They're sort of explaining it as as sort of a sports center for Big Brother. And if you're curious about more, check out the stream. Taylor joined the stream. It's in 2 parts on YouTube because my internet crashed in the middle of it, but highly recommend checking out the stream. But I will be streaming for that episode as well on Friday. So if you want to watch that with me as well, we will be streaming for that. I mean, I'm pumped for Taylor. I'm pumped to watch Taylor. And I'm genuinely excited to like see what they've come up with because she seems super excited about it. And honestly, like good or bad, I'm curious to see what they come up with and what kind of like feedback we can provide. Derek Levasseur, not X. Though Derek X, I think, would be very funny to have as a host of a thing. Funny, but maybe not appropriate given his, I think, interest level in the subject matter. All right, we're back. Oh, this is the Jimmy Rachel spar. Wait, but we have to see them sparring. There we go. Oh no, my episode is buffering. He's giving the buffering line, and my episode is literally buffering in the middle of it. The maturity from Rachel, right? Like, she fully recognizes she's not good at these fights. I will say also, this is my, like, this is what's in my head every time I hear that Jimmy's not good on the spot and that he rehearses everything. I remember I was always thinking of this fight because he was rapid fire. I don't think the edit even showed all of them. I mean, she technically beat Zay. I would call that one a fight she won. He was planning to keep this a secret, but he did not. The definition of a man. Listen, we'll take it. We won't nitpick. What is this, like, fantasy genre music? This twinkly, like, we're at the Shire music. They changed it. That's a very silly thought process, I think, from Catherine. It's literally week 2, and she's like, yeah, Lauren is my closest ally. I'd probably work with her, but I feel like she'd get more votes than me in a final 2, so it's like, then cut her at final 3. Like, what do you mean? Actually, Picking you all off one by one. Of course, Ashley inserts herself. I'd like to take this moment to remind everyone watching that 24 hours later, Keanu thinks that Jimmy's super chill with him and still thinks that Rachel is his biggest enemy. Does that include me? Man, the difference in response between like Ashley and Ava is so telling. Nobody hates Keanu more than Ava. But she's able to make a joke about it. Week after week after week after week, week two. As Dan Giesling might say. All right. So that was a yes. We did get the veto draw. Let's go for it. Do we get the veto comp? Does the veto comp start? What I'm looking for the start of the veto comp is, do they go out into the backyard and begin? Actually, let's actually be careful about this. Should it count if they go into the backyard even if they don't start the comp? I'm gonna count it. Do we see any part of veto? So if they like show, like, I'm gonna need to see the competition. They don't have to start the competition, but I need to see the competition. You know what I'm saying? That is the prediction. Casey is not the competition. We can see Casey, but not the competition. That would still not count. Yeah, we need to see the set. We need to see, like, they need to, like, be about to start. It's the sort of thing where, like, you know it if you see it. You know what I mean? Like, if by the end of the episode it's like, oh, well, clearly we're starting the next segment with only competition because they've already introduced it, then we know we've done it. What a veto ceremony, though. Sorry, a veto draw. I mean, it's not often you get that much drama in a veto draw. Oh, I forgot we do have like 2 whole veto ceremonies to get through, don't we? They did talk about the veto comp on the feeds. It was like some kind of grip strength, jumping kind of thing. Julian, thank you for gifting 5 subs.
Wow, a 5!
Make sure you thank Julian for that generosity. Gifted for the soundbite. I think the subs go out randomly when they're gifted like that. Although I think you can choose if you decide if you want to, but I think if you do 5, I think it's usually random. And we're back. I mean, the thing is, for Keanu, it made sense to lie pre being nominated. He could have told them after he was nominated. Oh, you're 2 for 3, but you haven't been 2 for 3 competing against Casey. You've been 2 for 3 competing against the other players in this house. Also, you did lose a 1 in 4 comp. A ringer. Terrible advice from Vince. Not only should you take yourself off the block if you have the chance, generally regardless, but in this like structure of gameplay, Keanu could win the blockbuster and then Kelly leaves. The super fan is super excited. Ooh, there's a very good chance we're about to see it. Here it is. This is why she dressed as the bush. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I thought that was just an Ava thing. It kind of says a lot about Ava that I thought she came with the bush outfit. All right, that is a yes. We did see the comp. We did see the set. That's what I was asking for. Remember also what I said, that we now know that heading into the next segment, it is just veto comp. We're right there. So the next prediction will be, do we know who wins veto in the next segment? Will we find out who wins the veto in the next segment? Obviously, we know who wins, but will we find out in the episode who wins within the next segment? Does Keanu know who Casey is by sight? That is actually a good question. We can't do a prediction on it because there's not a good way of knowing for sure. But if I had to guess, what clip would Casey be in? He did say Casey last episode, but he could have been fed that line. You know what I mean? So at the very least, he will probably pretend to know. Get a let's go counter. She did not invent let's go, no. Not even in Big Brother, quite frankly. I think the thing with Casey and let's go, because there have been a lot of people that say let's go a lot. Corey said let's go a lot. Dan Giesling himself was a big let's goer. More so in 14 than 10. The thing that made Casey so remarkable with Let's Go, to me, is that there's just a certain element of like It's just funny the way she says it. It stands out. You know what I mean? You notice it more. All right, we're back. I can't believe she's walking out in this ridiculous costume. Like, yeah, we'll have you back. This is your outfit. Oh, wow. I forgot about this, big brother. The fact that he calls her the veto queen tells you he did not know who she was. I won't deny the title, but nobody called her that. She just called herself that like 2 diary rooms ago. So him saying it. They're really doing these guest appearances dirty. Casey in the bush costume and Felicia in her bathrobe. Peeping on Felicia. Caught creeping. Caught creeping. I wrote a book about this show. Get ready to start. They did talk about Felicia on feeds, just slightly. Please stop with the cutting to laughing. What is the grip strength portion of this? Oh, it's the buttons? Oh, I see. Pressing the button. There's no reason to false start early on if you're athletic. Because you won't be the slowest even if you come off last. Who is this with the technique on the right? Kelly? She was doing the shuffle. This is basically just buzzkilled from BB Can. Only like Big Brother US goofyified and made more athletic. It wasn't that close. What? Where did that come from? Why is he doing this? You're not a chicken. That would have been the end of Keanu's Big Brother 27 game if he hadn't picked up that advantage. No. Blockbuster. Can't forget about Blockbuster.
Casey just try to fake him out. You have to risk the false start here if you're Adrian, because Casey's faster than you. Even start. She committed. I think if we watch that one more time, I think if Adrian had dove at the same moment she did, could have won maybe. But he took an extra jump before he went because he didn't want to fall, I imagine. Man, I can't believe Kiana just won that veto. What a comp beast. I mean, listen, if I'm Casey, I'm walking out with a little bit of a swagger. Right? You walk in, you crush a veto, you walk out. Yeah, I still got it. Reality vets, they love to be like, these new school players, they couldn't handle it in my day. But it's all talk. Casey went and proved it. I would say Casey's technically not of the modern era. Though she is definitely in the like comp beast era. We do know who won the veto. I would call like the current era, like post All Stars. It's the diversity initiative era, so to speak, which we actually might be at the end of. Speaking of. Prediction.
I guess veto ceremony? Do we get the veto ceremony? We almost have to. I believe so. Speaking of the diversity initiative, I believe that CBS, Paramount, whoever, I believe they had already reneged on the initiative being a requirement. I guess relatively quietly, like maybe a year ago, maybe less. But with the acquisition, all the stuff going on, you've probably heard about it. We talked a little bit about it on Tastemakers. What you've heard about with Colbert, the lawsuit with Trump. They are now more actively. It's not just that it's not a requirement. They are now like seemingly actively trying to prevent such things. So we will see. We will see in the future. And we are back. Contemplating. I think the pressing the button for so long, being in such a tense position, I could see why it makes him tired. On top of the jumping itself. Those are cop out noms, Jimmy, and you know it. Chicken for dinner.
What's new? It was shredded, which I'm not a fan of usually, honestly. Gotta have that variety though. Woo! Mickey just ended him. Oh, here we go. Yes, we're getting clips. Such a deep pull, the Hayden one. Did I say something wrong?
Do you see him sneak in expendable because he thinks we know about his alliance name? That's a no on the veto ceremony. I did forget we need to get the fight in. Certainly we're now doing the veto ceremony. Man, Global's just so far ahead all the time. Chapters on the live feed updates are off? Like all of them or just the recent one? I don't do them, so. Sure, I think it'd be the 23rd. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you can think what you want about like what were Keanu's intentions, so on and so forth, but like the whole thing of what did I say? What could it have possibly been? What's wrong? Why would you be upset? Like, you know, don't act like you don't. And then when it's pointed out, like, what? That's why you're upset? But it's just the highlights. Like, if you came to that conversation with any amount of goodwill, your first reaction instead would be, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. I watched the video. They were like, I was just kind of trying to quote the video. I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry. Like, it's pretty hard to act like it wasn't your intent to needle someone when you aren't even willing to apologize for the impact of your words in a meaningful way. I honestly don't know what to do for the prediction, so we're gonna skip this one. I'm already late anyway. I mean, the thing is, again, it's sort of like it's not really up to you what somebody to like decide what somebody gets to be sensitive about. You can disagree with it in your head, but if you trigger somebody like that, you should just apologize because you don't want them to feel bad. If you don't care about them feeling bad, then that's kind of the problem.
Okay, Kelly's delivery was way better than Keanu's. Jimmy, you'll be forced to name a replacement nominee. Oh my god, and then the she's Misty from Yellow Jackets. What is Riley doing here? Keanu's not one to hold grudges, guys. Here's Keanu controlling Jimmy's HOH by getting him to do the thing he was already planning to do. Oh, no, sorry. This is the one he's trying to get Rachel on the block. Okay, they're introducing the segment not to dunk on Keanu, but to introduce uncertainty about who the renom will be. He never, I mean, as far as we know, he never even came close to considering this. Jimmy, if you were to nominate Rachel, what would the thought process be? Can you just explain that so we have a segment for the show? Thank you. I feel like we know too much. I think we just need to go straight to final DR. Jimmy, Kelly, Keanu, Will, Amy, Adrian, Rachel. Anyone else? The problem is I think Global's too far ahead, and I don't even know if I could come up with a good prediction for the comp anyway. Yeah, we'll just go other. We've already got plenty of options. final DR. I am on the podcast tonight, yes. I guess we could have asked if it ends on a cliffhanger, but I don't know why it would. I mean, it would be a very silly cliffhanger, given that we, again, know that he didn't come anywhere close to nominating Rachel. Global gets ahead. So they're not ahead at the start of the episode, but especially these 90 minute ones, over time, they get further and further ahead. In the 60-minute episodes, I don't think it's as big an issue. Yeah, I think it's just less commercials. Global's the Canadian station. I've not seen Eddington. I swear, they always have the longest puzzles when there's like nothing to analyze. I have played Peak. I peaked. I have peaked. I made it to the peak. I made it there alone though. All of my friends died along the way. All right, we're back. Well, the thing about the Caitlyn puzzle is that it was a puzzle of her, which is way funnier. And she also had to dismantle it and like go under a wall or whatever.
And no, I don't think she had the poles either. I think she had to like freestand it, which is part of the problem. Two minutes? Yeah, this is remarkably easy. Especially with the pole, like it basically guides you into exactly the spot that like it can only go on in specific ways. Yeah, where's the hole? Just calling this a comp is doesn't feel right. She's actually doing so much worse than I imagined she would. All right, Angela. The slow clap. Were they also stacked in order? That's wild if that's true. I think that puzzle with a 60-second time limit would have been more appropriate. Especially if they were stacked in order. I feel like I want to see Fantastic Four, but I just saw Superman. You know what I mean? I don't have that much time. Superman was good. I liked it. Yeah, when Weapons comes out, I got to see Weapons. I mean, that's a given. That is, yeah, that's actually coming up soon too. So I don't think I can see Fantastic Four. I think it's just not timed right. about the naked gun. I did watch Mr. Robot, yeah. Mr. Robot was kind of like at its peak when I started podcasting. And that was like the first big thing is that because like when I first started podcasting, and people tell you you look like people all the time. And that was always the big thing because people called me a robot. And on top of that, they thought I looked like Rami Malek, which I probably did more back then than I do now. But it was always kind of a stretch, I think. I think it's mostly my baggy eyes. All right, we're back. I do also wear dark hoodies, yeah. Probably even more so back then. This is a veto meeting. I wouldn't call it the veto meeting. All right. Keanu. Likelihood of losing Adrian this week is whatever percent chance you think Amy will win the blockbuster. Honestly, even there, it's like, it's not a guarantee. I mean, it's not like a super given that he leaves against Will. It's likely, but not a given. If Amy's up there, Amy leaves. That's been pretty locked in at this point. Book is available on Kindle, yeah. All right. Well, I will, of course, be on the podcast tonight, so tune in. We'll be talking to Chelsea. I will be live in the morning for the update, and then I'll be back here again tomorrow night for the eviction, where we will see the Blockbuster competition and then see the eviction play out. And then back again on Friday for the Big Brother Unlocked episode, which is very exciting. I say, of course, like I'm always on the Vito podcast. Well, you caught me, because what I was going to say was, of course, I'll be back tomorrow for the stream, but that I had forgotten that I'm also going to be on the podcast, and it felt weird to talk about the stream tomorrow before the podcast tonight, and so I moved it up, and I did feel like I said, of course. But we'll hang out with Chelsea tonight, have a good time, chat about the episode, and then plenty to do tomorrow. That's about it. If you are a patron member of my Patreon, I will, of course, be posting episode 4 of The Genius, my watch of episode 4, tonight as well. So stay tuned for that. As we continue through the OG South Korean Genius. Very fun. It's been very interesting to watch that season with such little memory of the details of what happened, and having seen 2 seasons of The Devil's Plan now. Because, like, at the time when I originally watched The Genius, it blew my mind. It was so far ahead of any other competition reality show. And now I'm watching it, I'm sort of seeing the seams. Like, it was ahead of its time, but now it does feel a little dated. But that's mostly because of The Devil's Plan. Like, if The Devil's Plan didn't exist, it would still feel pretty like ahead of its time. Yeah, the Patreon I started recently because I was doing the Devil's Plan watches, where I'm like watching the episode on video, pausing and analyzing, and those just can't go on YouTube because I'm showing the episode. So we have it on the Patreon there, and it's just like really fun content. People are really enjoying it. So in order to keep it going, we moved it over to the Patreon. But yeah, there's links. There's links if you want to check it out. I do plan to continue to do more there. The Patreon is where I will watch things like Australian Survivor. I'll likely do the same sort of format over there. That's starting in like a month, right? And then stuff like traders and that kind of thing. Less than a month, August 17th. That'll be fun. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot to keep up with Big Brother going on, but I think having the Patreon will be like a good way to like keep on track. Anyway, thanks again for hanging out. I will see all of you over on the podcast.